Hello there. We are so glad that you're here, and I'm so excited with our guest today, which is the infamous Jesse Cooke. Uh, Jesse is a insurance defense litigator, but we know him more so because he is a history Buff-alonian. And he'll tell you a little bit more about that. But I'll have to tell you a little bit why I asked Jesse to be our guest is we're doing the series called The Wonder Years. And that is primarily towards Gen X and Boomer lawyers who are having ways to make the best part of their practice, this part of their practice, the best part. And that means to finding ways to enjoy what you're doing, finding avocations or adjusting your practice so you feel less stressful, we're not really doing that, right? Less stressful, more freedom, and increased profitability. So I wanted to have Jesse tell you a little bit about his post. So I have to tell you this before I get him to talk, is every morning we who follow him, and it's a bunch of people. Jesse has over 25,000 followers on LinkedIn, as do I, but his are very actively waiting each morning for the history nugget that he shares on his post on LinkedIn without fail. I think you even do it 7 days a week, right?
Sure do.
He
Holidays too.
Rain or shine, day, whatever happens, we can expect in our inbox and on LinkedIn notification that Jesse has a historical moment for us to share. So tell us, Jesse, how you got into being a historical Buff-alonian.
Okay, thanks so much, Pamela. It's great to be here. I am really grateful for the opportunity. How I got started into this, I'll tell you, it was December 7th, maybe 12 or 13 years ago. Somebody had circulated an email in the office, and it said something like, "Happy birthday, so-and-so, there are treats in the kitchen." And then like the inevitable response to that was just a reply all by everyone in the office. And it was all like, "Happy birthday, hope your day is great." And I remember the date because I had remembered learning that was the date that the Apollo 17 crew took the famous blue marble shot of planet Earth floating out in space against a black background. So I replied all to that office-wide email and said, "Hey, you share your birthday with the blue marble shot. Here's a copy of it. It's a pretty big day in history. HBD, Jesse." And a colleague of mine suggested that I should do that for every office birthday, and I thought, well, it's kind of a pain in the ass, but I did start doing that. And then when I went out on my own, so for about 7 or 8 years now, I've been doing it every day, and it's just what you see in that little blurb is really just an event or a song or an experience or something that I heard about that I've taken some time to contemplate and boil down and like generate some little nugget that's like that long and just figure out what's important to me and just put it out there. And it's been very cool. The creative writing aspect of it that I engage in putting these things together, the contemplation part of it where I'm thinking to myself, why is this interesting? How do I relate to this? Which of my modern attitudes am I imposing on this story? That kind of thing. And then the feedback that I get and how people relate to it, I get a ton out of it. It's a very rewarding part of my day, and it's really impacted my my worldview and just every single day. So that's the nutshell version of the History Buff-alonian.
Well, Maria Y is that we love your nuggets of history.
I love Maria Y. Thank you, Maria. That's a great thing about LinkedIn. I had the pleasure of meeting Maria in person and getting to know you over years now. It's really wonderful. And then the history stuff, and it's so random. I mean, today was Mr. Rogers. Yesterday was the Babeville Church here in Buffalo. Then Royal Albert Hall was the day before in London. And these stories kind of touch on just the different facets of our personality and the different facets of our society, and the feedback I get and the way people connect to them. It's completely unique. I'm very glad I do it. It is a non-traditional approach to networking. That's for damn sure. But I really do enjoy striking up that conversation and learning from people and having this kind of interesting dialogue about like a crazy universe of topics. So that's.
Well, it's interesting because I have learned so much from your people, musicians and some nuggets about, Black history or people or, and jazz. And, I remember, I forgot who the song was one of your favorite songstresses. I think she has country western. I forgot what it was. And I told my kids, I just learned about so-and-so, and, from Jesse. And my kids are like, you're just learning about that?
Cool. That's so cool. And I don't post about anything I'm not learning about myself. So right. This is not like coming out of memory. These are it's like a headline. It'll be like, or a song that I'll hear. I'll be like, oh, I'd like to learn more about the recording of that song, the meaning of that song, or like what was going on in the world at the time of that headline, and I'll like dig into it. It's not. So it's always, it feels kind of like a joint venture with the people who are paying attention. Thank you so much for like investigating that artist that I talked about. And
I got the music. I downloaded the music. And I have to tell everyone, not only if he has a song or something, he also provides a link to YouTube so that you can listen. I mean, that takes a lot of thoughtfulness to we're here, and sometimes it's people we've never heard of or music we've never heard of, but then we can click on that YouTube link and say, wow, this is great. And what was that? What was her name? Do you remember the woman? What did she sing? The song was, oh gosh, because you said you went to see her twice, and she, oh gosh.
A female artist that I've seen twice.
Yeah, you said that you've actually seen her live, at least once. We'll think about it later. But yeah, okay. You had seen her in person, and and you would talk about how much you loved her, and and that's why. And I listened to the music, and I'd never heard it before, but I just loved the music. So you provide that, and then a lot of times historical things that make me feel, proud about some of the things that have happened in Black history that I never knew. I mean, and, I was like, wow, I learned this and I learned that. And then you also look at American history and athletes and people who accomplish things that we don't even know about that were able to break records. It's just, so tell me, how do you because that is a vast library. How have you been able to marry that with your law practice?
Well, the obvious ways are, I have a lot of colleagues in this industry that will read my stuff, relate to my stuff, and then a lot of prospective clients that read my stuff, and it's an excellent icebreaker and judges and court clerks and other lawyers in town. It's very cool to strike up a conversation with someone, and the topic is just something completely random, like, oh, I saw that post you wrote about Emily Dickinson. Like, just to have the opportunity to talk to anyone about Emily Dickinson, that's very, very cool. So I really appreciate that stuff. I'm a very introverted person. I hate small talk, which does not make me a natural marketer. It does not make me a natural like a cocktail party guy. So I'm grateful for this opportunity to kind of, in my own like introspective kind of way, and there's a creative element to it, like create these things, put them out there, introduce myself to people in this way, and invite further conversations this way, because it really is what is like, it reflects what's going on in my mind.
Mm-hmm. Now, tell about your LinkedIn journey, because I kind of watched you kind of grow, and your audience grow and your readers grow. How did that all come about?
Well, when I went out, I have 5 kids, and my kids are 16, 17, 18, almost 19, and 20. So that's my spread, right? When I went out on my own, these kids were 8 years younger than that. So these are like really demanding, expensive. It's just a very expensive family unit. So when I went out on my own, it was like, holy crap, get moving and promote yourself and like let the world know that you're out there. And that was the motivation behind the LinkedIn. I'm like, what do I have to offer? I'm like scrolling LinkedIn, and there's all of these like self-promotions, like, oh, I won a motion, I got an award, I earned this certificate. And it's great. I encourage people to do that if that's what they feel called to do. It never felt like my jam. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I really like these like daily history things. Let me just throw them out there, and let's see what comes of it. And how it works is kind of crazy. So I'll post something about Dolly Parton, and all of a sudden I'll get like this flood of like country music type of people. And then I'll like post about the Beach Boys or Teddy Roosevelt, and get a completely different demographic. And I think some of them quickly are like, oh, this isn't a Dolly Parton historian, or this isn't a Teddy Roosevelt historian. I'm bailing. So that, there's some fluctuation in the follower amounts, but what has resulted over, I think I've been posting daily for 7 or 8 years or something crazy like that.
Yeah.
It's been this like very diverse little network of very cool people who I enjoy very much.
Wonderful. I'm going to tell you what, let's see. Stephen Shanker said, "You're a natural, Jesse. I spoke with you in person, and it was like we were long lost brothers."
Yes.
And Marie.
Stephen, truly my brother from another mother. He's in downstate New York, doing the law hustle and the historian side gig too. So I love Stephen. It's great to hear from him always.
And then Maria again says, "What I love about our generations is that we are at the point in our career that we are confident in ourselves and do something different, or even reinvent ourselves."
Right on. So I'm 47 years old. I was born in 77, and puts me squarely in the Gen X category that you mentioned. And 47 is great. This is a great age. Like my kids are getting older, so 3 in college, 2 are right behind them, but they're getting less dependent on me. They're just growing up. They can have adult conversations. It's allowed me additional freedom to do things with my wife and this job. And it is a wonderful time to be alive and to be a middle-aged man. It's great. It really is.
Yeah, so we're going to wind up. We're just a little bit over. So what would you say to anyone out there who like has an avocation or would like to do something to help spice up their career, their marketing, their networking? What would you say to them?
Put it all out there in a very honest way. And Pamela, you are excellent about this. It's just putting out into the world, this is who I am. These are my strengths. These are my weaknesses. This is the way I see things. This is my background. It's unique to me. The people who dig it are going to dig it. The people that don't, like, they can go their own way. But that's my one piece of advice for someone who's like thinking about exploring LinkedIn and other media outlets like that.
Okay, I shouldn't do this, but please tell us a little bit about your background real quickly.
Oh.
I love that.
Do you mean my personal background or this really cool background?
Yeah, really cool background in back of you, yes.
So I am I'm chiming in today from Lafayette Square in downtown Buffalo, New York. What you see behind you is a wall mural of Lafayette Square in 1904, 1905. This is really cool. I can't help myself, but what's cool about that, you see like the horses and buggies, and then check out this horseless carriage right here. So cool, like the whole, like the city of Buffalo is just converting over to like car power, and so I am right up there right now, 120 years later, and we are honored to be here in the Brisbane building in Lafayette Square. But I post about this area a lot. This is an area that Abraham Lincoln's funeral procession drove through. This is an area where Grover Cleveland executed people right over there when he was Erie County Sheriff. So where Grover Cleveland executed people is now our Erie County Public Library, and the manuscript of Mark Twain's Adventures of Huckleberry Finn is stored. I mean, so this is a wonderful area of town, and I'm going to stop myself from blabbering on right now.
Okay. Thank you very much. Jesse, thank you so much for being with us. For all of, yay, Buffalo. And all of you who joined us for the Wonder Years, because what we're saying is Gen X and Boomers, this is the best time. Our last part is the best part. And why don't you join us and join the Wonder Years? So thank you so much for joining us. And Jesse, thank you so much for sharing your wit, your wisdom, and your Buff-alonian historical self.
It's so much fun. Pamela, thank you. I appreciate it. It's great to see you always.
Okay, bye-bye.
Take care now.
In the